Are you winning, son?
Oh damn. Where your girlfriend at, fool? Where your girlfriend at? That's wild. That's right, we don't have girlfriends. Yikes. I mean, if you're looking for a girlfriend, this is your first mistake watching this video, but still, please stay. Don't be silly and join me, Hentai Lily, because today we're reviewing Toradora. Let's get it. This has been a long waited, long requested review for a long time. Because look, let me be fair. This show is a classic in the romantic comedy genre because it came out in 2008. Bro, I was 5 when that show came out. What the fuck? Ah, shit. Time. But of course I didn't watch it when it originally aired. I watched it in the winter of 2019. The reasons why I actually wanted to watch this show are pretty unorthodox and pretty random, because there was no valid reason. It was on my watch list originally because obviously people called it an amazing show, and I was like curious, and I was like, you know what, fuck it, I'll watch this show as a joke. But bro, I don't think it's a joke anymore. So now let's introduce the main 5 characters that we'll talk about for the rest of this show. We're gonna be talking about Taiga, Ryuji, Minori, Ami, and Kitamura. There's 25 episodes in this series, but if I were to break down every episode in depth and review it, it's gonna take a long time and I can't be bothered. So what I'm going to do is just split up the episodes into, like, based on the arcs that they're in. So it could be 2 to 3 episodes an arc. I just talk about the entire thing as a whole. I might specify like, oh, this is episode number and episode this and this, but I'm not gonna talk about every episode. And of course, there's always gonna be parts where I just straight up not mention things or just forget about it. Again, if you want to know what I missed, watch the show yourself. And of course, let's begin the review. Starting off the show, we start off in a very, very traditional high school romance type of way, where the first episode is just an introduction to the first 4 characters, which is, first off, Ryuji, our main guy. This is the start of a brand new school year, so we don't know anyone, but apparently he's the most feared guy in the school. Why? Because he looks scary. That's the reason being. And then he bumps into our other main character, Taiga, and she's also the most feared character in the show, in the school. Why? Because she's fucking batshit insane. And guess what? Now they're classmates. What a coincidence. We're gonna get a lot of those today. Not that this pairing has everyone on notice, because look, the most feared people in the school have just bumped into each other. What are they gonna do? Yeah, they get mad. Taiga gets mad and harasses him. But like, hey, we're classmates. Yeah. What a coincidence. They're classmates now. I mean, how else are you gonna progress the story? Like, there's no point. Yeah, it's bound to happen. But we get our first scene in the romance where Taiga puts a love letter in Ryuji's bag. Ooh, the romance has started. But we soon find out that once Ryuji opens it, it's empty. It's nothing in the actual card envelope, because apparently Taiga meant it for Kitamura, which is Ryuji's best friend. Ooh, Ryuji doesn't mind. He doesn't really care because he doesn't like Taiga. He likes Minori, Taiga's best friend. That's right, another fucking coincidence. Just add more to that, they're fucking neighbors now. Yeah, why? Fuck it. Ryuji lives in his own house. Taiga lives in the fancy ass apartment right next door. They're friends now. And of course, I haven't mentioned Nami. Why? Because she's introduced in episode 5. And in the way she's introduced as Kitamura's childhood friend. Oh god. Not the childhood friend. Ami is one of the most complex characters at the start, because we see her as a very airhead, like the dumb blonde character, but she's blue hair, which means she automatically took an L, because blue hair girls immediately always take L's. If you know, you know. And I don't know, she's a fucking model. So she's famous, she has clout, she has everything going good for her. And everyone loves her at the school. But there's a secret about her. Not really a secret, but Ryuji and Taiga see what's behind that whole facade, because she's not really that ooh-woo, quirky anime girl. She's a fucking two-faced bitch, as the kids say nowadays. The whole ooh-woo girl act is dropped almost immediately in the next episode, because we get more of her character. So she stops acting all ooh. She's actually starting to act like herself, serious and more, quiet, scheming type of character, because she tries to, flirt with Ryuji, and that upsets Taiga. They're not dating, and this starts the rivalry that lasts throughout almost the entirety of the series between Ami and Taiga. In certain scenes, it's funny. It's because they have nicknames for each other, so it's fairly hilarious. Following this, we have more episodes, specifically 7 to 10, where I guess they progress the character development more, through whether it be at the pool or at the beach. Let's fucking go. We got a beach episode, because it's always mandated in high school anime tropes. Now, we're moving on to the first big arc, which is the school's culture festival. Basically, this is where shit starts to get deep. Like, the story starts to go, whoa, this is getting kind of real. I don't like it. Because why not? Fuck it. In between that entirety of the whole festival thing, we're somewhat introduced into a secondary plotline, which involves Taiga's dad. Shit. Basically, it's a small introduction. We get to see who he is, and we understand that Taiga and her dad don't have, or her parents in general, don't have the best relationship at all. She wants nothing to do with him, but Ryuji almost forces her to hang out with her dad, talk, reconcile, find inner peace. And it seems to work, because her dad promises, you know what, hey, I'll be at your beauty pageant, I'll cheer you on. The reason why Ryuji is so, persistent on her getting back with her dad, like, come on, be friends again, is because Ryuji doesn't have a dad. it becomes a very lingering topic for the rest of the show, where it's just family and abandonment in certain scenes or dialogue where they reference that, the idea of being abandoned by someone you loved or someone you did love. But yeah, the first showing of what this means is in episode 13, because yeah, in episode 13 is when the actual beauty pageant happens, and surprisingly, Taiga wins it. She does. Because in the beginning, she was almost scary. No one wanted to talk to her because she was so scary, so fucking insane, that people are scared to know her, scared to talk to her, scared to know anything about her or affiliate with her. But now, she's loved, she's praised. During the whole festival, she becomes one of the most adored characters in the entire school. But in this moment of pure bliss for Taiga, she looks around in the crowd and someone's missing. Yeah, her dad did not show up to her pageant, which he promised he'd be there. And essentially, Ryuji wants to make it up for her. And the only chance he has is that to participate in a race. Because the winner of the race gets to have a final dance with the pageant queen, which happens to be Taiga. So he wins the race in an amazing fashion. And he does get that dance with Taiga. And it's beautiful, you know. Like, aw, romance. Like, and then you start remembering, oh shit, oh, her dad's not there. Fuck. And immediately after that episode, Taiga becomes more of a sympathetic character. In the show, the other characters, they like her now. They actually are no longer scared of her. They actually love her. They don't show no more fear. To the point where she's like deemed lucky for one episode, which is pretty random. But then we get a tournament arc. Let's go. We're getting all the cliches here, baby. Okay, whoa. It's not really a tournament arc, but more or less an election to be because we need a new class president. Apparently, it was meant to be Kitamura who's supposed to be class president. Simple, you know, no opposition, no one's running against him, so he's just next in line to being the president because he's, of course, vice president. But out of nowhere, he just straight up switches characters. He goes blonde and just refuses to do anything anymore. And everybody notices, oh shit, something's wrong. We have to help him, but they don't know how. And then Taiga decides to just run for president, completely unopposed. So she's going to be class president. Her campaign is running well because there's fucking no one else. And she goes straight up full heel, full villain, just to prove, like, oh man, guys, we don't want Taiga as class president. We need someone to save us, which is Kitamura. And he even gets an endorsement from the current school council president, because obviously she's resigning. And also, Kitamura has a fucking crush on her. Why? And eventually, after all this, the whole weird debacle, you know, Kitamura's back to normal. His hair, coolio as ever. And decides to, yeah, I'm running, guys. He runs for president, he wins it, and becomes class president of the student council. And that's cool. That was great. Lovely. And during the ceremony where the current class president is resigning, she's just like, hey, I bitched out last second. And you know what? Looking at in hindsight, that was a good fucking idea because Kitamura gets immediately fucking clowned on by everyone. And by everyone, I mean everyone except for, you know, his friends, Minori, Taiga, and Ryuji. But the former class president, they duked it out, you know what I'm saying? Typical anime style fights. They both get suspended, but it doesn't matter because she's leaving for America. Taiga, she doesn't care. So she waits out her suspension. And we slowly transition into the next arc in this entire series. The fucking Christmas episodes. Oh my fucking god. Episodes 17 through 19 hit different, I swear to god. Because I originally watched this during my Christmas break. We start off seeing that, free my girl Tyga. She's out. So her suspension's over. And now she wants a redemption. She's acting all nice, she's being sweet because she wants to be nice for Santa Claus. The whole idea with connection with Tyga and Santa, or Christmas in general, shows a completely different side of her character because she's overwhelmingly nice. She's willing to buy gifts for orphans and donate it under as Santa because she just wants to be nice for Santa. Does she know Santa's not real? Shut the fuck up. No. Ryuji actually benefits from this because Taiga actually decides to be his wing woman and try to, get him a chance to confess his love for Minori. Where? At the Christmas Eve party that takes place in about a few episodes, which is episode 19. And this is where trouble strikes. Minori is no longer going to the party. Why? Because there was an incident the previous episode where a baseball hit the Christmas tree and essentially broke the glass star on the top of the tree. Of course it's fixed, she fixes it, but still feels so much remorse and guilt that she feels that she is no longer invited to the party. Even though no one is upset about her, no one's mad, no one's telling her that not to show up, they still want her there. But she feels so much guilt that it ruins Ryuji's plan to confess to her. And he obviously reassures her that if you still want to go to the party, I'll wait for you. I'll be there for you. And that was pretty sweet. That was good for you, boy. And then here we go. Episode 19, the day of the party. Personally, my favorite episode. Because we start off at the party, chilling. We see Ami and Taiga have a duet on stage singing, and it's amazing because when we first introduced to them both, their first initial relationship is just like fuck you. They both hated each other. They did not like each other. But now, almost 14 episodes later, they're friends. They don't hate each other as much. It's more just banter as friends. But after the performance, Taiga leaves to let Ryuji and Minori have their moment together. So she goes back to her apartment, she's waiting for Santa. And Ryuji finds out about this because obviously Minori hasn't showed up yet. And he wants to go to her house, Minori's house first, to just get it over with, whip off the bandage, confess to her, tell her the truth. But instead, he goes to Taiga's house and dresses up as Santa. Once he does show up, he tries to cheer her up. When I tell you, this shit fucking hurts, dude. After that whole scene, Taiga tells Ryuji to just you know what? Go to her, confess, tell her how you really feel. But at the same time, Taiga doesn't want that because once he's gone, she sees his scarf that he left behind. She tries giving it back to him, but at that point, he's gone. And then Minori's there. She sees everything that's happened. Ryuji and Minori meet up. And knowing what she just saw, she utterly rejects Ryuji. All three of them are just left hopeless. Minori, Ryuji, Taiga. And then the episode ends. And what's the next arc? The next episodes are a class sponsored ski trip. Let's go, boys. We going skiing and shit. The only main takeaway from this entire ski trip is that we're at the end, Taiga gets lost due to a blizzard happening. And our main crew have to go and save her. And Ryuji does find her. Saves her. But in a state of delusion, Taiga straight up confesses that she has a crush on Ryuji. But the thing is, in her mind, she thinks Kiramura just saved her, which is not the case. So to save face, Ryuji tells Kiramura what happened and tells him to play along. You saved her, I didn't. And they also tell her, oh, the things you said, I don't know what you're talking about. It was just a dream. And then that's it. So yeah, they go back to school, back to normal, I guess, somewhat. And then we get another episode where we find that Ryuji's mom has become very ill because she's been very overworked at her job. So to help her out, Ryuji and Taiga work at a chocolate shop where they just start selling chocolates, fun little episode. It was just a fun little episode. Quick, easy. And this inspires the next episode because Taiga ends up making homemade chocolates to give to her best friends on Valentine's Day. I think that's what it is. I think it was Valentine's Day chocolates. And they were just talking, basic after school shit. She thanks Kiramura for saving her. Minorin cuts her off, just tells Taiga that didn't happen. Say the truth. Confess your love right now. Oh, and by the way, this is episode 24. Yeah, I flied by the story real fast for a reason. And we only have one more episode. And then we get a chase scene. Taiga is flustered, she's blushing, she feels embarrassed, she runs away from the classroom. Minorin chases her, and Ryuji reluctantly has to follow because they're his friends. He has to do something. And because of this, we find out that Minori actually did have a crush on Ryuji, but instead she chose to reject him to let Taiga win. So she took an L so that Taiga, her best friend, can take a W, because she sees that Ryuji and Taiga are meant to be for each other, and that's why she rejected him. And then she just lets Ryuji go after her on his own. She's done. She's not gonna force it. Ryuji meets up with Taiga in a remote location. By remote, I mean a bridge. And at the end, they decide, fuck it. Let's run away, get married. Their teacher called them both out because they have nothing planned for their future. Ryuji seems like he doesn't want to continue on going to college because he doesn't have the money to afford it. And Taiga just doesn't care about having a career or a future. And then yeah, they just decide, you know what, fuck it. Let's leave. Run away, get married. Why not? What's the big old deal? So they go, obviously, to Ami's house, and then all of them are there, and they tell them their plan. They don't fully understand it on why they're doing it, but either way, they support them. They have their full support, and they're going to, you know what, fine, go ahead. Good luck on your future lives. And then Ryuji goes home to see, I don't know, but we find a note from Ryuji's mother saying that she's run away as well, and that go to your grandparents' house. Boom, cliffhanger for episode 24. Now we're here, the final episode, episode 25. Ryuji and Taiga go to Ryuji's grandparents' house. They meet each other for the first time, and then Ryuji's mom shows up, and then she explains him the truth about his father, because his father abandoned him when she was still pregnant with Ryuji. She decides to keep the baby. She'd rather live her life on her own. And subsequently, her parents were just not okay with it. So she just decides to go on her own. And this is apparently the first time Ryuji's grandparents and his mom reconcile after being apart from each other for so long. They just forgive each other. They embrace, they hug, there's sadness. And then Ryuji and Taiga go on their own. They have their own separate room. Later in the night, after fucking 25 whole ass episodes, that now they want to kiss. And the scene is yeah, that's what it is. It's wholesome, it's beautiful. At the same time, it's really awkward because it's kind of funny because he's kind of tall, she's really short. It's adorable. Now, they still decide to marry, but apparently Taiga decides to transfer out of schools, leave, because she wants to earn his love once more. I don't know what that means, but she leaves either way. And at the end of the show, after the credits, they're at the end of the year graduation ceremony, whatever the fuck it is. And then we see them once more, and Ryuji goes to Taiga and says, "I love you," for the first time, because they never said it. And then it just ends. That's it. That's the end of Toradora. Now on to the actual review. Yes, this anime is 13 years old, and you can tell very well by its animation. The animation obviously is not up to today's standards, but for an 08 anime, I still enjoy it. I still would enjoy it. It looks nice. There's no main issue. Like sometimes there's like a frame or a scene where it just looks The story overall and how it was presented was amazing. I loved it. At first I wasn't really as invested because I didn't feel like, I guess it's, how is this relation going to work? But then a few more episodes in, I was invested in these characters and their lives. I just wanted to see these kids succeed in life. I just wanted it to win and win and win. And partially, Ryuji and Taiga won at the expense of everyone else. Kitamura has fucking no one. Minori has fucking no one. They're on their own. They're still friends, but they sacrificed a lot. Kitamura with his confession to the class president. Minori sacrificed her love for Ryuji just so Taiga can win. I didn't expect that for a high school romance anime. But hey, it was cool. The music, the soundtrack for this show is a banger. The openings and the endings, all four of them are bangers. They're slap certified. Even music in the background are amazing as well. It really emphasizes the show even more because it can be either very depressing to listen to or very upbeat, up-tempo. It just makes you feel happy and jittery all the time, which is a good thing. And another nitpick I have about this show is that the story progression at times feels a bit slow. It just feels like sometimes the episodes are just filler, or they don't know how to properly transition it, so they just make something up so they can't transition the story forward. But it's redeemed because it's a comedy. There's obviously comedic aspects, so these episodes are more lighthearted, they're more humorous, there's more jokes put into it. So you don't really lose anything on the enjoyment scale. So you get a quick laugh and then, oh shit, I'm sad again. What else can you do? Which is fine, it's fair, it's the rom-com. That's what you get, romance and anime. Very serious, very dramatic comedy anime. It's very lighthearted, it's very self-aware. Put them together, you get a good combination. And I was just really entertained. I'm really entertained by the show. I loved it. Just in Time loved this show even more, even though I forced him to watch the show because he didn't want to at first. And now he loves this show even more than I do. And you can tell because the score for Toradora is an 8.5 out of 10. While it doesn't feel right to give the show an 8, because I feel like it deserves way more than an 8, but I don't feel right giving it a 9 because it feels like I'm praising it too much. Because it's a really good show. It had me, I cried at the end. Because I related to it a bit. So it was more or less, oh, I cried because of the story and the beautiful ending, but I also cried because I'm dealing with a lot of shit right now. So it's a beautiful mix of the two. So it still got me emotionally, still pulled my emotional strings. I was invested. Taiga won, Ryuji won. That was the whole point of the show. And I was left satisfied. It's a romantic comedy. There is comedy in there. The way I told this story and narrated it, it might have seemed like, oh shit, this is very serious, very dramatic, more romance than comedy. No, it's not. There's a lot of jokes, there's a lot of lighthearted moments. So watch the show yourself. That's the point of it. Watch the show yourself and you'll see why I love this show, even though it's almost 14 years old. This ends the review. Do you have any other suggestions of what anime I should review next? Leave them in the comments below. And please subscribe, please. You made it to this point of the video. Statistics show that fucking no one watching these videos is subscribed. And until next time, this is goodbye from Hentai Lil Y. Bye-bye.
Top down, moving down the street 1,000 miles an hour around town. I've been hopping and applying the power. Loud sound in my head, I'm trying to drown out the sour. Calm